Welcome to Louisville Focus. Today we are going to focus on the film industry and where is Louisville's proper place when it comes to the future of filmmaking right here in Louisville. We're going to talk to the folks from the Speed Art Museum, which is where we're sitting right now. And we're also going to talk to the folks from the Louisville Film Society and the Flyover Film Festival. We'll tell you all about it on Louisville Focus. Let's go to the movies. No question about it, the Speed Art Museum is iconic here in Louisville. You may have been here for events, maybe to see an art exhibit, perhaps to see a film. And if you saw a film here, then this man is probably responsible for it. He is Dean Otto. He is the curator of film here at the Speed Art Museum. Dean, thank you for joining me.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
You know, when I think about the Speed Art Museum, and we've all visited here, I do think mainly about art, painting, sculpture, etc. But what you do shows me that it's just so diverse here, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. Tell me what you do, Dean.
Well, I came here in 2016 to start the film program here at the Speed Art Museum, and prior to that, the Speed very rarely showed films, and as part of the Speed's expansion project from 2016, they built a state-of-the-art cinema, and they spent a lot of time researching how museums present film, and so we were able to build a perfect venue for seeing film from scratch too, and really focus on the presentation of film too, that we're able to screen archival film prints from all over the world here too, in the most idyllic settings.
When I hear the word film, Dean, in this digital era that we live in now, I think of some of the classics, and I'm wondering which way is the pendulum going now? What is the state of film, not only here in Louisville, but in the nation, and how do you impact that?
Well, one, I am traveling to film festivals all over the world to see either brand new restorations of films, the very first screenings, public screenings
like a
of
Tribeca
films.
Yeah.
So I go to the Telluride Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival, which is the biggest film festival in all of North America. I go to the Berlin Film Festival. I've just been to Tribeca as well too, and what I'm doing is I am looking over all of those films that are in release and are available, and thinking about what would resonate here with audiences to. In some ways, how I can be a leader and introduce new work to audiences here too, and in other ways, how can I work with other organizations, with the University of Louisville too, and that great academic expertise that we have. They're our neighbors and they completely surround this museum too, to bring out what other research is going on here or what other topics that really resonate within this community as well.
So, Dean, you're getting me excited about film again, because I think, unfortunately, there's only so much time in a day. And, you know, and you know what I'm saying? And there's so much good work out there. It's art. It is true art. And some of these are rather low-budget films. I'm sure there's others who have a very respectable budget. With that being said, tell me about the art side of this and what you look for in a film. When you're watching a film, is it the cinematography, is it the lighting, or all the above? It's
all of the above too, but I'm also thinking about this specific community and what would resonate here too. What other relationships I have with other organizations that are based here in Louisville too, and ways that we can create a stronger community as well through film.
We had a brief conversation before we started this interview, and you were telling me that you were at Tribeca and there was a film that was really specific to Louisville called Backside. And you made me so excited about seeing something like this, because although I'm familiar with Churchill Downs and the Backside and what it's about, I can't imagine there are so many things going on, so many moving parts. Tell me about Backside.
Well, Backside is a really important film for me too, because I've been involved with this film for about the past 4 years. So there are 3 filmmakers, one from Colombia, one who is based in Boston, one based in Denver. They started coming in to do a film on the grooms who work with the horses at Churchill Downs, and they would need to be at Churchill Downs at 3 o'clock in the morning when the grooms were arriving in order to film them too. I live in Old Louisville, maybe a mile from the track, and so they stayed with us, with my family and I, all through that shoot too. And so they were coming in about every other month too, and shooting for like 3 or 4 days each time. They were here for multiple derbies for this. And then the film just had its world premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival. We are going to be working with the Backside Learning Center over at Churchill Downs on a series of screenings between the 24th and 28th of September here. And the filmmakers are going to be here. The grooms will be here talking about their work as well too. But that's an incredible Louisville story that you're not really seeing anywhere else.
You know, that's what I love. This is what the show Louisville Focus is all about, is focus on things perhaps people aren't aware of. And of course, a lot of us, hey, we're proud of our city. It's nice to hear that, there's actually films being produced that we're central in, that Churchill Downs, whatever the case may be. Talk about maybe some other films that Louisvillians may not be aware of that really showcase our city or things that happen in our city.
Well, one of the things that we do is we do a lot of partnerships too with other organizations around here. We're going to be partnering with Crane House on a whole series of Japanese film restorations from the 1980s, to another film from China, coming up called An Unfinished Film on the 13th of July. Just today, the New York Times released their top 100 list of best films that have been produced so far this century, and their number 4 film, In the Mood for Love, will be screening here at the Speed Cinema too, coming up here in July too. But then we're also going to be working with the Louisville Film Society on the Flyover Film Festival at the end of July as well.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more about that. You're the correct guy to ask, because your level of expertise when it comes to the past in the film industry and the present state of the art. Where do you see the future of film moving towards? I think it's interesting now. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be the blockbuster films, but these, I think you call them art house films?
Yeah, they're art house cinemas too. So, there are much smaller budgets for those films too, but they're from filmmakers who have a really strong vision for the stories that they're presenting. And that could be international cinema too. And I think that's one of the incredible ways that we can find out about cultures all over the world, is by how their artists and filmmakers are telling those stories. And we can see that ways that we are similar to other cultures too, and new ways of looking at the world. And cinema provides that incredible opportunity to do this. And I think one of the things that, while we have so much access to the moving image and stories through streaming, nothing can beat seeing things in cinema too, and for that communal experience of seeing films too.
Agreed.
And it's one of the ways that we know what community values by, what are they laughing at? What do they seem upset about? What causes them to cry?
That experience, you can't replace that experience. It is more like, it's like watching a live concert as compared to playing an album.
It's
absolutely.
a
lot like that. So for folks who aren't familiar with the lineup that they can see here at the Speed Art Museum, how do they get more in touch with what you're doing here?
They go onto the Speed's website too. It's www.speedmuseum.org too. It has all of the offerings between what is going on in the galleries too, what's coming up in the future too, and we have all of our programming up there through the end of August available as well.
Dean, it's so nice to see that Louisville is a player in the film industry, and a lot of that is due to what's happening here at the Speed Art Museum and what you do as film curator. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, more to come here on Louisville Focus. Welcome back to Louisville Focus. We have touched upon some of the big film festivals around the world. Cannes Film Festival, of course. There's Tribeca, a huge one in Toronto. But you know what? Louisville is right in there with an up-and-coming film festival. In fact, I think this is the 15th year. It's been very successful. With me right now is Alexandra Reinhold. Alexandra, welcome in.
Thank you.
And also Derek Seppi. Derek, thanks for your time.
Of course.
Okay, before we get into this film festival, which I'm very excited about, the Louisville Film Society is kind of you're the umbrella over this, correct?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the Louisville Film Society and what your mission is.
So the mission for Louisville Film Society is to connect filmmakers and film lovers and just create this ecosystem within the city for us to gather and watch great film and talk about it and also support each other.
You know, there's been, due to this festival, the Flyover Festival, Derek, I think there's been a lot of excitement and a lot of focus here. I think people may be under the misunderstanding that, hey, this is just for Louisville filmmakers, which it is, but it's much bigger than that, isn't it?
Yes. So in one way or another, all of these films and filmmakers have a regional connection to this area. And we have films that have shown at South by Southwest, Sundance, that also show here. So it's not just a local festival, it is a regional festival, it's a national festival, it's international.
So how do filmmakers and films specifically qualify, Alexandra? If someone has a film and they're really passionate about it and they feel like, hey, this may be something that they can enter in a festival like this, how do they do that?
A couple of years ago, we joined the Film Freeway ecosystem, and that's a place where filmmakers can find out when they can apply and also submit, and that's where we do all our judging as well. So it's a really cool site that just allows us to keep everything organized, yeah.
So Derek, what's the criteria? Is there different categories, shorts, different budgets? How do you all find out, where does each film belong?
So we have three categories. We've got narrative, we've got documentary, and we got a shorts program. The initial criteria was just being shot in Kentucky, and we've expanded that to include pretty much having any kind of connection to Kentucky. So that's really the only requirement.
Alexandra, tell me about maybe some of the stories, some of the films that you guys have seen and have put in the Flyover Film Festival. I think people find that interesting.
One of the films I'm really excited about is called Shuffle. It was a jury award winner documentary from South by Southwest, and it is just a really strong documentary about drug addiction and whistleblowing and a whole kind of, what would you call it?
It sheds light on how the rehab ecosystem profits off of people in rehab. It's a very, very interesting documentary.
Yeah, so many different topics. Now, as I mentioned when I opened up the show, we were talking about, unfortunately, some of this great art never gets seen by the masses. Is that kind of I would think, part of the mission is like, let's expose some of this art, some of the topics that you're talking about here, Derek, like drug addiction and things. Is that part of the mission, Alexandra?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. And also to allow filmmakers to see their content on the screen. A lot of our viewing takes place on this tiny little window, and it's so different to see comedies together. It's so different to see art together, and being able to walk out of the theater and talk about it is just way more impactful than just hitting a button and sending it and being inundated by content. So it just really is a place to give your undivided attention. And also we try and bring filmmakers in for Q&As, whether they're from out of town or from in town, and really just highlight their artistry.
Derek, what does this do for not only the local film industry as it stands here in Louisville, but for maybe aspiring youngsters who want to get into film? Is that part of it as well? It's like, hey, I want you to develop your passion. It can be done here in Louisville, Kentucky. You can make a quality film here, right?
Absolutely. So if you can't get out to, if you're an aspiring filmmaker and you can't get out to, let's say, Tribeca or Venice, obviously, it's way out in Italy, if you can't get to Sundance, all of those films that submit to those festivals get shown here at Flyover. So you don't have to go very far to see great films that are made, and you can get inspiration and talk to those filmmakers, because some of these films that are shown at Flyover were made right here in the Commonwealth. So you get to see films and talk to people that make those films right in your own backyard.
I think a lot of times we miss the fact that, film and the art, and don't get me wrong, the enjoyment, we all love that, but also the economic impact it has on a city. We've seen what they've done in Atlanta with tax incentives and bringing films in here. We're doing something similar now here in Louisville. Talk about that a little bit, about, how it impacts Louisville overall, business-wise, from an economic standpoint.
I think that it's a huge driver. You've got people coming in and finding out that they can make a living here doing film work. And I think we're both great examples of that. Neither of us are actually born and raised in Kentucky, and we both have found stable work and made a life here. So I think we're both in it.
Hollywood is not in Hollywood anymore. It's international.
I'm hearing that. I was talking to some folks who are in the film industry in LA, and they were saying here in Louisville, you can duplicate almost any scene. It can look like New York. You can have a rural scene. All of that is available here. Is that part of the allure, Derek, to filming here in Louisville, is that you've got all these different backdrops?
Yeah, so my job is a production sound mixer. So I have worked on films here in Kentucky. Then we've shot period piece New York. We have shot Los Angeles. So we have shot all kinds of different areas. We don't have deserts, but we do have pretty much everything you can think of in the state.
It's pretty incredible what the art department can do with a space. They completely transform it, and that's the part of movie magic that I think sometimes gets lost when you're in a location, that you're just playing for the same location. You don't have that same creativity. And I'll say the first movie that I worked on when I moved here was from Los Angeles. I moved here and it was doubling for Los Angeles, and I was like, I can't get away from it.
Yeah, interesting. This seems to be my go-to question here on Louisville Focus, because we're talking about film and the art. I'm curious about both of your opinions on the state of the art of filmmaking here in Louisville and where you see it going in the future. Obviously, the Flyover Film Festival, a big part of that. I mean, it puts a spotlight on the city of Louisville. But talk a little bit about the talent and the future.
Yeah. We had to kind of minimize the festival a little bit during COVID, and we're still trying to bring it back and make it better than ever. But I know that a lot of local filmmakers, when they get in, they'll say, I'm so excited for my Kentucky premiere to be here. And at the Speed, it's just a great location and a great partner that we've had with the Speed Cinema. And some of the filmmakers too, after screening it, have said that it was a better experience than some of the other festivals they've been to that are pretty high name festivals.
See, I love that. And that's, like you said, that's the value of the partnership of the art museum here, the Speed Art Museum. Derek, talk to me a little bit about your thoughts, where we stand now and where we're moving.
So I've been working in this market for almost 10 years, and it's easy to forget that, we're still a very young market. We got a long ways to go, and it feels like, we're in the thick of it and we're at the peak, but we're not. Like, we're still growing, and that's the best part, is our future is in our hands in this market. So whether that is, building a soundstage or making the tax incentives more robust, or Flyover having its 20th year 5 years from now, that's all in our hands, and that's what's so exciting.
Wow, this has been not only educational for me, but I'm excited about the future of the film industry here. Thanks to the Louisville Film Society, to the Louisville Speed Art Museum, and also the Flyover Festival. So thank you both for talking to me. Alexandra, Derek, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Once again, now you're feeling very positive about the future of film here in Louisville. Hey, make sure that folks attend the Flyover Festival, if they would, please. How do they find out more information?
flyoverfilmfestival.org.
Easy enough. Alexandra, Derek, again, thank you so much for your time and your expertise as well.
Thank you so much.
It's all happening in Louisville, the Louisville Flyover Film Festival. If you're like me, you're excited about the film industry and the future of film here in Louisville. Perhaps you're an aspiring filmmaker, and maybe someday we'll see you on the big screen.